RC crawlers, yeah, we hitting the scene. Dad and Michael on the mic, the dream team. Afterthoughts, yeah, the crown on the beam. Scales on scales, it's the RC regime. 110 crawling through the rugged terrain. Mud on the tires, ain't no stopping the game. 118 hitting tight lines, precision insane. 124 small but mighty, no shame. Custom rigs, we the builders, the bosses.
Welcome back to Afterthoughts RC. We are live, and tonight we have a special guest, Joe Gunn. Joe was at Texas Crawl Fest and invited me to join to help grow the micro scene. And Joe and I have chatted off and on for a while on Instagram, and it was great to finally meet you in person, Joe.
Yeah, it was a good time, but let's be accurate. I pestered you endlessly until you finally gave in.
I think you mentioned it once, and I was on board and just had to make sure I could work it out with the work schedule. It was my first big RC event, and it was super fun. Dustin, my little 6-month-old guy, is being a menace right now.
Dustin didn't go, by the way.
But no, Dustin didn't get to join us.
Stayed home. Yeah, I'm glad you came down, man. I'd like to see that, more in the following years. So,
yeah, I am planning already on making the trip again next year. And unfortunately, Judd is not able to join us. Dad's Micro RC Garage is off doing Mother's Day things, so Joe and I are holding the fort down tonight.
I have gone from guest to co-host.
That's right. You got promoted on your very first YouTube Live.
It's all good. So, hey, man.
Like we've got a couple people joining us. If you're watching, go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know where you're watching from. We try to make our show as interactive as possible, and we're going to talk about Texas Crawl Fest, but if you have something that you would like to talk about, drop us a comment in the chat.
How many we got in here, Michael? I can't see on my end.
We've got 2 in the watching, and I think my phone is one of our 2, so we've got one person with us so far. We typically pick up a few more as we get going. But we've got you on to talk about Texas Crawl Fest. This was my first big RC event, and I think I saw that there were 600-ish people that attended Crawl Fest this year, and you've been involved for a while. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about the history of Texas Crawl Fest as you know it?
Well, I really actually haven't been involved that long. I went 3 years ago was my first year, so 2024. And 2024 was just me and 2 buddies with our mini crawlers, and all the rest of it was 10 scale, 6 scale, 7 scale, 8 scale. So, I mean, we still found a way to entertain ourselves, but there just was nothing out there for the minis, specifically for the minis, to the point that I said, man, I don't think I'm going to go back next year. But I messaged them when they started announcing the dates for 2025. I messaged them, and they said, yeah, these HTX mini crawlers is coming out from Houston. They're putting on a bunch of stuff for the minis. So I said, I'm in, right? Went last year, comp, scale trail, had a great time, met a bunch of good people. And over the past year, I had so much fun with those guys that I'm in San Antonio, and I've been driving to Houston once a month. I said I was going to do it every other month. It's kind of turned into every month. I drive to Houston for their comps and trail runs and stuff. It's just a lot of fun.
How far a drive is that from San Antonio to Houston?
They have multiple locations that they hold their comps at. So it's anywhere from 4 to 4.5 hours there, and then anywhere from 5 to 6 hours getting back, because Houston traffic is a thing, y'all.
That's what I hear. That's some dedication. That's awesome.
I think that, well, if you think about what I spend in gas in my little car and stuff, You know, I'm not drinking. I'm not going out to expensive dinners. I'm not that kind of stuff. I like playing with my RC stuff, and it's not that much. I got the little Texas tag. It cost me $10 in tolls, whatever fuel my little car uses. You know, it's cheaper than going to a movie if you think about it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
they decided I wasn't going to go away, I guess. So I've kind of been assimilated into the HTX Mini Crawlers organization. They're going to really work on maybe branching out and doing some stuff here in San Antonio and that kind of stuff. So
That's super cool.
I want to do some honorable mentions here. I know you're kind of giving me credit, and I'm a very small piece of the puzzle. Again, HTX Mini Crawlers Facebook group, and they now just recently started an Instagram page. Check those guys out. Mark, HTX_RC Thrasher on Instagram. He is currently kind of the founder of the Feast. Man, the guy puts in a lot of time and his own money and stuff to make these things happen. The other Mark, yeah, I was going to leave out the last name, but
sorry. Yep. Mark A.
Mark A. And then Mark Ramos, we'll go ahead and drop his name. RC Cars and Toby, RC_Cars and Toby on IG. You know, he's not really big into planning and stuff, but when we went out there the weekends before setting things up, dude, he was a workhorse. Just loves doing it. You need a pile of rocks move, that's your guy. Okay. Jacob,
I met both Marks down there. They're great guys. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, they really are. Jacob with Jacob_RC_nerd at Instagram. Jacob's the founder of the Feast. I guess he started this deal with the RC or the HTX Mini Crawlers. His work has since changed where he can't put as much time into it, I guess. So he's.
I didn't realize Jacob RC Nerd was there. I've followed him for a while, and apparently he told me he was the guy with the big red beard.
Yep, that's the guy. Yeah, he did so much this year as far as getting the sponsors. We had great sponsors for the minis. We had FMS, we had Flub, we had God, I can't remember them all. He worked really hard at that stuff. John was Stainless 24. Not only was he one of our sponsors, but he was right next to us. He was a lot of fun to hang out with all weekend too. So that guy's down.
John's a great guy. Had a lot of fun crawling with John.
So he never gets tired. It's the craziest thing. Hey,
I've been following his road trip from Michigan back to Arizona, and that guy just never quits. He's always doing something. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's any time of day or night. Hey man, let's go do this or do that. Okay, let me grab a truck. Let's go. Yeah, he was a lot of fun to hang out with. Jose mini crawling on IG. Again, a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of money. I'm just a very small part of it. I'm really glad to be involved in it now. But those guys have been putting in the work for a long time. They've been putting in their own money for a long time, and they've really, just since last year, their work has really paid off. We're seeing a good turnout. We're seeing our scale trail, though small, was great this year, and it'll be better next year.
Honestly, that was probably the highlight of my trip down there. I enjoyed the mini comp. I don't comp often. That was a lot of fun. The night trail on the 24 scale trail, that was probably the most fun I had during that weekend. That was a lot of fun to be out there with how many guys did we have out there? Probably 10 plus.
All of them, I think. I don't know. It was quite a few.
Yeah.
If we were smart, we would have got a head count, but
yeah. I'll be posting my video of that soon because I got some good footage, and I'll be doing a night trail run video on my channel soon. So you'll see all the guys that were out there, and you play a special part as the the cause of the panic of which rig is on fire.
My bad. Hey, we turned it into a positive. We had some great special effect shots.
Very much so. It was a very cool effect.
Oh yeah, it was a great time. 2025, I had big plans, man. I was going to take at that time, my Arctos was new-ish to me. Mm-hmm. And I had it all set up like this is going to be great on the trails at night. Because once you run a night run, you realize how much fun they are if you got a bunch of guys with lights, and it's just fun. I get out there when I don't have the radio to the Arctos. I'm
Oh
like
no.
ready to go. And I go grab the truck and I don't have the radio. And the only thing I had, I could bind other radios to it. The only thing I had was 3 and 4 channel radios. So everything worked but the lights.
Oh,
So
that's a bummer. It's happened to all of
this
us.
this year was, yeah, I redeemed myself this year. I ran the Arctos on Friday night and I ran the 8x8 on Saturday. But yeah, it was talk about disappointment. I was like, oh, come on.
The Terranaut
So
was cool. That was the first time I've seen a Terranaut in person.
yeah, it's nuts. It's just different. I think
Yeah,
crawfish is the time to
that's
bring
a
out
whole
your different
different
stuff.
driving experience. Just um,
I,
front
I'm terrible at it.
and rear
Terrible.
steer. Yeah, it's you're
Terrible.
just dancing. Hands are dancing over that controller to get it to do what it does.
But I am not good at it, but it looks cool. Oh, but yeah, it's a great time. Like I said, did want to make sure we mentioned those guys because they're really the ones that put in the work. I'm happy that they invited me along and kind of drew me into the group. I'm having a good time with that. But them guys work at it. You know, the next comp is coming up on the 23rd. I may judge a class. You know, it just depends on who's there. But I'm just going to show up and run or judge a class. Those guys are putting the work in it. They're doing the scheduling. They're picking the location. They're laying out the courses. They're doing all that stuff, making the trophies. You know, so
Yeah, it's a
those
great
are the
group
ones
of
that take all the
guys.
credit.
If anybody is able to join Texas Crawl Fest next year, they had just recently announced the dates. It is skip ahead in my calendar. I think we're looking at
I think it's 23rd,
23rd,
24th,
24th, and
25th of April.
25th. Yeah, so the last weekend of April 2027, mark that off on your calendars and come down to Texas. It's worth it. I drove 8.5 hours each way, and I would do it again tomorrow.
I've been trying to convince them that we need a fall crawl.
Yeah, heck yeah, I'm down. It was warm that weekend. I know.
And at least it quit raining.
Yes, that
It,
we were on rain watch the whole week leading up to it, and I was talking with my buddy like we're primitive tent camping all weekend. If it's gonna rain all weekend, that's not so much fun. So I'm glad we had rain leading up to it because it knocked the dust down, but it also dried up enough that we were able to enjoy the whole weekend.
oh yeah, when I got there, it rained. It stopped raining, I think 2 days before the event, day and a half before the
Uh-huh.
event. When we were out there the weekends prior working on the trails and stuff, it was so dusty. And then all that rain started. And I was afraid that it had rained so much that it was still going to be muddy, but it wasn't. It was almost Friday. It was almost tacky. It was
Yeah,
like
it was
really good
perfect.
traction. Yeah, really good traction. So I think it benefited us. But yeah, we were a little nervous about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I joined a few Facebook Live chats talking about weather updates leading up to the event, and it was a lot of, well, maybe we don't know yet.
Yeah, one of them said if you're coming on Thursday, don't come in a car. You won't be able to
Hmm.
get down the driveway. So I was like, "Ew." But
Yeah,
hey, it
that
worked out.
scares me because I drive a little Mazda 3 hatchback, and I don't have a lot of ground clearance.
Nah, me either. But it worked out. It ended up being great. I mean, it was warm, but everybody had a good time.
Yeah,
And at night it was perfect.
it
I'm all
was
right with it getting
beautiful.
hot during the day, but it was perfect at night. So for the night,
Yes. Yeah, and there was so much to do. There was, of course, the tent scales are overrepresented as usual, but there was lots of cool stuff. There was a sumo table. I wish I could have participated in the tent scale camel trophy trail ride. That would have been a lot of fun, but that happened during the micro comps, and that's what I came down for. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm glad I got to go to the comp.
yeah, it's really hard with so much stuff going on. It's hard to you got to pick what you're going to do because
Hmm.
there's going to be some overlap. We had 39, I think, sign up for the mini comp.
That's
Last
awesome.
year,
That's definitely the biggest comp I've ever been to.
last year we had 12, so we've come
Wow.
a long way. But we had no idea. I mean, we can't tell you how long we're going to be running the comps. We
Yeah.
do our best to get everybody through as quickly as we can, and we even start classes while another class is still running, because we'll run a truck up to about gate 5 or 6 and we'll start another truck.
Mhm.
Um,
That's the
but
only way to do it, in my opinion.
even then, I was doing C2 heavy. I was judging trucks for hours. So
Yeah. I think it
it
was pretty much all day. Like we kind of hung close to the micro comps, and we started at 9 a.m. I was third to run and yanked the lead wire out of my ESC, which I still have not fixed.
damn it.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, I probably couldn't say damn on here.
no, you're good.
Okay.
This is Afterthoughts RC. This now it's going to act like it's fine, but yeah, this ESC lead wire needs resoldered
I witnessed
because
it,
I did
y'all.
a boo boo.
He splat ripped that dude out of there.
Yeah,
You,
I had plugged it in, and 45 seconds before I was about to go, I'd like, oh, I'll unplug it and save the battery, and ripped it up. So ran back to camp and grabbed the rat rod and ran that instead.
now, y'all, you could see it in his face, because he had told me in the weeks leading up to Crawfest how excited he was going to be to run the Bronco Chew in a comp. And literally less than a minute before he starts, he's like, look, I offered to let him run one of my other trucks that doesn't have a rock catcher on it, but he's like, nah, I'll run this. I got to tell you, the rat rod did good, though, with its mechanical overdrive in the front with the smaller slicks, and it
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, I
It worked.
appreciate the offer to drive a different rig, but like, no, I'll drive one that I'm familiar with. I've never comped that truck either, and it worked out pretty well. When I finished the run, the judge told me I was in second, but a couple guys snuck up, and I think my downfall was going for the last bonus gate and hitting it. If I had skipped that, I think I probably would have been on the podium.
If you had cleared the bonus gate, you would have probably.
Yeah,
But that bonus gate was a bear, man.
it was, and
Like,
I
Mark,
almost had it. And right at the end, you can see my video. I posted a video recently. I just the front of the truck just slipped a little bit. It's like, well, I'm never recovering from that.
you know, what amazes me is it appears that no one got good video of anyone actually making that gate.
I believe that.
How could we have not gotten that on film, though?
I don't know.
I mean, it was a tough gate. The gate wasn't so bad. It was the getting to it part that was so tough. So
Yes,
I
it was
can't,
a gnarly downhill.
I can't believe nobody filmed that deal. But no, it was fun. That course was probably twice as big in just overall area as what we did last year, which was cool, because you went up on the ridge and down and up and down. They changed the elevation, were cool. I'm really curious to see what we end up doing last or next year.
Yeah,
Um,
I am too. That was a great, probably the favorite of the comp courses that I've done. It seems like the guys that set up the micro courses here hated us. It was like the first or second gate was impossible, and like more than half of the people were DNF. It was like, maybe we should have the micro crawler drivers set the micro course rather than the 10 scale drivers.
well, now Mark A is the one that usually lays out every time I've been to a comp, he's the one that lays out the courses, and he can be evil. The bonus gate as an example. There were some gates in there that were tough, man.
Yeah,
Um,
it was a good balance of a few gimmies and some deceptively difficult gates. I think
yeah,
gate
gate.
number 4 was one that got a lot of guys.
You think about that. Is that
That
the pile
was
of rocks where you got to make the
right
right and
after the
push
pile
left?
of rocks that you,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, if you didn't set up making your right hand turn so that you're set up right for the left hand turn, you weren't gonna make it.
right.
So that one was tough. Yeah, it was a good course, and it was fun to do the bridges and the planks and the stuff that
I
he
really
did a
like
good
that.
job
I've never
incorporating.
had that in a course before.
Yeah, he did a good job of incorporating that and kind of stuff, and the changes in elevation and the gates at the bottom of pretty tough downs, descents and
Hmm.
stuff. It's yeah. All you go to a comp and the gate's going to be up here and the gate's going to be up there. And now we had gates that were down at the bottom, or if
Yeah,
you
I
blew
like
the
that.
descent. I think gate 6 when I was scoring C2 heavy,
Uh-huh.
a lot of people rolled end over end through that gate.
And that counts. If you go upside down and
They did.
backwards, I think
They
it should
didn't
be a
hit it.
bonus.
Yeah, they cleared it.
Right?
So yeah, it was a tough course, but it was doable.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
for those that are not familiar with how the HTX mini crawlers does that stuff, their rules are very simple. But just recently they had started a stock class, which is stock chassis rails, 0-degree skid angle, 70% of a body. Doesn't have to be the stock body, but 70% of a body. So the course needs to be doable with trucks in that configuration. But it also needs to be challenging enough for the unlimited guys and the C2 heavy and light and stuff. They get some pretty built trucks. So he did a really good job of finding that balance.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was
It
doable with
takes
the
a
stock
good
chassis.
driver to be able to set up a good comp course, in my opinion.
And he can drive. Yeah. So yeah, the course was doable with the stock chassis. It was not easy, but it was
No,
doable.
I saw some of the stock trucks run it, which I really appreciate. That it helps bring new people into the hobby where you can go out and buy a $100 rig and go comp with it and actually be able to clear the course. So yeah, I'm glad that they're paying attention to that aspect of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great. I mean, now compared to when I got in the hobby, like 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, there is a lot of great stock chassis trucks out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Some of them wouldn't qualify because of the angled skid and whatever, but there's a lot of great stock chassis truck. Matter of fact, I ran my brushless Red Cat. I just
Hmm.
threw smaller tires on it so it fit the requirements, 0-degree skid. Now, I don't have a lot of money in that truck. I've done links and steering servo and that kind of stuff, but and some brass knuckles. But I haven't thrown a ton of money into it. But I feel like I could do just as well probably if that truck was stock.
Yeah,
Um,
I think so too. Red Cat's almost cheating. If you take a stock Red Cat out, you're miles ahead of a stock SCX 24.
well, and the HPI Venture 18, they did a
That's
comp
a good
here a
one
few
too.
months
Yes.
ago in Leander, the hobby shop in Leander, Texas. We had 40 people show up for that, and a guy went inside, bought an HPI Venture, charged up the battery, and I don't even think he charged the battery. It had enough charge to get through the run, and did
It was
really,
balance
really well.
charged and he ran it. It's
Did
amazing.
really, really well. Matter of fact, he showed up at Crawfest. That truck had been heavily modified. I don't think it was as good as it was stock, man. He crushed it stock. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's some good stock trucks out there now, and they just keep getting better. So I think it's a good way to get people into the hobby. Is
for
just
sure.
hey, go buy this. You know,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I see that a lot online. People asking, like, I'm in the market for a new crawler, a micro crawler. What should I get? And the response is often Red Cat, which I can't argue with. But if you want to tinker, maybe the SCX 24 is the way to go because out of the box, they're rough, but with the aftermarket support, they're pretty incredible. But you're also looking at a $400 to $500 rig when you're done with it to
right?
get an SCX 24 to be in the same ballpark as a stock Red Cat.
Yeah, and I'd say both of the two SCX 24s that I comp with are superior to a stock Red Cat. They're probably
Hmm.
superior to a built Red Cat. They're also absolutely nothing SCX 24 on them.
Exactly, right.
The only thing that's from the original trucks is one of them's got the original receiver. I use it for the
Uh huh.
receiver, and the other one has what's left of the body and the receiver. Nothing else stock.
Yeah.
So yeah, hundreds of dollars, or you can go buy. Well, I did that last year when I didn't have my radio for my night run truck. I went over to Alamo City Hobby Shop. Shout out to those guys. And
They were a
bought a
sponsor, weren't they?
Yeah, they've been a sponsor every year that I've been there. They're great. George and those guys. That's my local shop. They're great. Mark Santa Maria or something like that. He just did a video a couple weeks ago. He stopped by there on his way to Crawfest. Dude, this place is RCs to the ceiling in every direction that you look.
That's amazing.
And they support every discipline of it. They've got bashers, they've got racers. Matter of fact, they're going to open a carpet racing track inside the shop. If it's RC related, and especially land-based RC, they're your guys, man. They're a great shop. But
I'm going to need to take an extra day next year to go see Alamo City. Unfortunately, my local hobby shop, Triple Crown RC Hobbies, just closed. Not for lack of business. I think it was a deal where he had to step up and get involved in family business. So the hobby shop was the one to take the hit.
Well, it's got to be a tough business. And, George is, from what I understand, he started his business at the local weekend marketplace that we have here in San Antonio and has grown up from there.
Oh, cool.
But I went in the other day to pay for my shirt, Texas Crawfest shirt, and he was gone. They said, yeah, he finally took a vacation.
Yeah.
So he's been doing this for years. Part of the year, they're open 7 days a week. He sponsors events monthly at his own shop. He is a huge sponsor for Crawfest. He does this 7 days a week, 365 days a year without much of a break. That's if something else comes up that you've got to attend to, it's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely running an RC shop is a passion project. You're not going to get rich on it, but you're going to do what you enjoy every day.
Yeah. So, and maintaining a good attitude. The guy's always cool to work with. They're good folks over there. But yeah, I get it. If something else comes along, it would be tough to stay open in that kind of deal. Yeah. And it's a niche market.
It is.
I mean, there's only room in a town the size of San Antonio. There's only going to be enough business to keep a 2 or 3 hobby shops like that, or RC focused hobby shops open.
Mm-hmm.
So they have other places they call hobby shops, like Hobby Lobby. That's not a hobby shop. That's a craft store.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no RCs in there anywhere. They do have a model selection. You might find a good body, but
unfortunately,
those guys are great.
Their selection has gone down over the years. I used to go to Hobby Lobby and they had 32 feet of model shelving, and now we're down to like 8 feet.
Yeah, and the terrain section right across the aisle has grown quite a bit. So I guess it's whatever's the most popular. I mean, I get it. Right. They got to sell what's going to carry what's going to sell, but not a hobby shop to me.
No, not at all. I feel like the micro, or just crawling in general, has grown a lot. I've only been in the hobby for a couple years, hardcore. I've always had an interest in RC. I built an RC plane that's hanging above me back in the late 90s, early 2000s. That's plane number 2 because the first one had a head-on mid-air collision, which never happens, but it happened.
That is one of those things that I've thought about and thought I would use it once or twice, and then I would lose interest.
Yeah, I'm not interested in getting back to it because you have to buy insurance to do it. You have to have $1 million coverage. At least back in the day, you did. Wow. You had to have $1 million insurance policy to legally fly your RC plane. So yeah, not looking to get into a hobby that you have to have an insurance policy.
Well, I did not know that, but it kind of makes sense. I wonder if that's a state thing, or
it could be. I was in middle school and early high school, so I'm not entirely sure. Hey, Tilted Tomsky, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Tom.
And we've also had Arizona Desert Rider check in. He's one of our regulars. Good to see you all.
What's going on, guys?
So you picked up a couple rigs at Texas Crawfest, and you were sharing with me that you were working on a bumper mod. Do you have that handy?
Well, I haven't done anything on the bumper mod, but they're discontinued the Unimog. So I
Oh,
thought,
black
man,
Unimog. That's sick.
I figured, well, I better pick one up because when they're gone, they're gone. You're going to get more. This one
Hmm.
has it's a Fair RC mod, so it has the Fair RC 3D printed bumper, which is actually a really decent bumper, but it just kills the approach angle. So, and then the stock bumper sticks way out to here, and it kills the approach angle. So I think I'm gonna probably just I got some tubing. I'm probably just gonna do. I've got some square tubing and I've got some round tubing. I'm gonna
Are
figure out
you
which one I
using
like on there.
styrene?
No, it's actually where did I put that stuff? I
Are
don't know
you
where I
using
put it.
actual metal?
No, it's plastic. It's not
Okay.
styrene. It's plastic. I
Gotcha.
bought it
Okay.
I bought it off Amazon because I wanted something bigger than what I had in styrene. So I'm just going to cut a couple of pieces and see what I think is going to look the best, and go that route just with like a tube bumper or something because it's it's a capable truck. I love SCX 24s. I got a couple of them over there behind the camera. Matter of fact, one of my first trucks was an SCX 24, so I kind of got a little love for them. But I guess they're doing away with all of them. And then this one today, I've kind of been tinkering with the ready to runs, especially when you win them. I won this in the raffle
You made out like a bandit at
well, now
Crawfest.
I earned two of those. I
Yeah,
had to work hard for two. This
yes.
one was
Yeah,
a
you
gimme.
earned them for sure, but yeah, you did good.
But on this one, I sucked the front bumper in. That bumper was
Hmm.
out to here. This is a
Yeah,
great
that's what
little
I was
truck,
talking about. I like the Marty McFly truck.
and it's going to stay just like this. I call it Marty McFly. That's his name. Um, so yeah, I just kind of been tinkering with those. I go in little phases where I'll do ground up stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm not a body man. I my little ground up Wrangler that I built is kind of an homage to my 1-to-1 that I had for so many years. I got a decent paint job on it, but it's also flat black, all one color. Um, so
Flat black it's almost like cheating. It looks so good.
yeah, well, the Jeep was flat black. It
Yeah.
started out life as factory red, and I bought a case of Rust-Oleum, and me and some buddies spray painted it on a weekend, and every
I
couple of
do
years
love a
we
red
just
Jeep.
regeared it. Gotta love the XJ. Now that one you posted on Instagram a little bit ago, that's a ZJ, not an XJ.
Yes. Yeah,
The one you
the
shared.
one mentioned him. He called it an XJ. I didn't think that was right, but I'm not a real knowledgeable Jeep guy.
Yeah, it
If
was a
it's a
ZJ,
mid 90s
but still
Toyota,
cool.
then I know it.
Yeah, the ZJs were still cool too, though. They were the same layout, the
Yeah.
unibody construction, coil spring front, leaf sprung rear. Yeah, they were cool. But
Yeah, that's a cool truck.
so I've been, like I said, I go in phases. I started this thing before before Crawfest. It's
Oh,
just
cool.
it's my first ramp crab chassis build. I was like, I'll try that. And I bought it I'm going to put the FMS Toyota body on it.
Such a good looking body. I've got the actual FMS Taco, and as much as I like the 2-speed transmission, I think it would be better on a F SCX 24 build.
Yeah, I love FMS, but I'm not a huge fan of the FCX 24Ms.
Yeah, I fully agree.
They're very limited on what you can do with them, and it just doesn't seem
Hmm.
like the aftermarket is stepping up to them. And they've
No,
got some.
and that's disappointing because they have good potential.
They do. It's a good platform, but and they did some things that are a little wonky. Like, why did they not turn that transmission around?
Yep.
Why does it have that scoop on the front of the transmission? It drives me
Yep.
nuts. I didn't
That
even
is
think
the
about
worst
turning
thing
it
about
around.
FMS on their small scale rigs is that transmission hangs down so low.
Then I'm not smart. Nobody's ever accused me of being a smart man. I bought the aftermarket skid plate and then I ground the front of that transmission down so it met that angle. And then
Uh-huh.
I saw a YouTube video where a guy just turned it around. I'm like,
Hey, it worked. So
it did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got one over there. It's a cool looking truck, but I can't bring myself to work on it much.
Yep. Yep. Arizona Desert Riser says the Mind of Magnus $27 on Etsy right now. Real decent taco. I'm gonna go. I like Mind of Magnus. I'm gonna go check that out after the show.
Yeah, Clayton does some cool stuff.
Yeah, he really does.
I steal his
I
ideas often.
Yeah, he was posting, I think, on Facebook the other day, asking what body he should do next, and I threw out Toyota Previa, and he said he likes it because it's different. So I hope to see a 24 scale Previa from Magnus soon.
Now, if anybody's listening, the Toyotas are great. I love Toyotas. I've got several Toyota body trucks myself. I love Jeeps. I got several Jeeps. But we need more first gen Ram bodies and Ram Charger bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Absolutely agree.
Where's the love for the Mopar guys? That's all I'm saying. We got Chevy. What do you think of FMS coming out with the GMC Sierra?
Hey, Trey, Mr. 24. Yep.
What's up, Trey?
Finally joined us. Good night. Good night, old man. We'll catch you at, I don't know, when you wake up to start editing, 3 a.m. I might be going to bed at that point.
Yeah, that guy keeps an interesting schedule.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person.
I'm because I have to be when I have to be.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with it. But
yeah, when work schedules me at 5 a.m., I'm there at 5 a.m., but I complain about it the entire time.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I get it. So what do you think about that GMC Sierra? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm mixed. When I first saw it, it was a hard no. That white body it looks like a toy to me. The proportions are off. It's squished a little bit.
Right.
After watching Adam's review on it, I'm a little bit more pro GMC. I'm not a fan of modern trucks in general. They're too tall. They just look like they're just too big.
Yeah. And that's to get the proportions right on that truck, it would have to have been 18 inches long.
Right.
I don't know why they chose to go that route. If you want to do a modern truck,
it's different, which is good. A lot of people are excited about it. I just think anything other than white would have been better.
And I hope that they do end up coming out with other colors.
I do too.
Within weeks, somebody will have a custom painted one out there, so I'm sure that won't be a problem.
For sure.
I think darker colors would serve that thing well, but I would just like to see them get away from just once. First of all, get away from GM. Nothing wrong with GM, but there's a lot of GM stuff out there.
There is.
There's just so many. Get away from the GM stuff. Maybe focus on you've got some great Toyota. You've got Toyota licensing, and I don't know how that works. I don't know if they only have the licensing for the LC80 or the Land Cruisers and the FJ40 or whatever it was.
Yeah, my understanding is they have to relicense for each different scale and potentially each different model, but I'm not real knowledgeable on that.
Yeah, if they got the option, there's some great Toyota options out there that they could have done. Mm-hmm. I don't know what else they'd have licenses for, but there's got to be some other manufacturers out there. I'm with you. Late model doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, unless you're just looking for the scale trail or tow rig thing.
It'll be a great tow rig.
Yeah,
brushless out of the box. Like FMS brushless is good. I've got the brushless LC80, and I love that brushless system.
They're good. But how much are you actually going to use a tow rig?
About 5 feet.
Once a week,
right?
Maybe once every other week.
Exactly.
Maybe once a year. Yeah. I would like to see them. I love the FCX 18 platform. It's a great platform.
Mm-hmm.
But we're limited on the performance that you can get out of them because they're all very detailed scale hard body, which is cool. That's their thing. They got that down.
That's what I'm all about. I love the hard bodies, and especially I love making hard body overlanders crawl against their will. That's my favorite thing.
I would just like to see them on that platform come out with something that's more performance oriented.
Mm-hmm. It'd be
Just
easy
one
to
truck.
do.
And I think that the platform's good. You take those hard bodies off and put something else on there that's lighter up top, and they do perform well. Some of my FMS stuff are the best trail trucks I have, but I'd like to see them do something more performance focused on that platform just once. And I think by doing that, that would also probably drive the aftermarket support.
Yes.
What do you do they're already brushless. They're already got portal axles. They're already very scale. So what are you going to do performance wise on an FCX 18 right now? You're going to do wheels. You're going to do tires. You're going to do, patina, or you're going to scale it out, and you're going to add a bunch of brass.
The
That's all you're going to
Opie
do.
Factory flat skid for the FCX 18 is the best upgrade out there for the FCX 18. It raises your center of gravity, but you get rid of that horrible low-hanging transmission.
It does have a low hanging transmission.
That
I should probably
changed
look into
my
that.
FCX 18 to install that upgrade. That was a huge, huge improvement.
I should probably look into that. I've had some.
It's like $20.
Yeah. No, their prices are good on stuff. So
Yeah.
and they work. That he really,
Yes.
really focuses on. I follow him on all the social media, and he's
Yeah,
constantly.
he's got a really, really cool Overlander kit for the Scout 2, which I might go ahead and go with because you put a K5 bumper on the front with custom adapters. It comes with a roof rack and a big rear bumper setup for a bunch of cool. If you haven't checked it out, go to and look up Opie Factory. I'll drop the name in the comments.
They have a lot of cool stuff, not just for Red Cat and FMS, so they're worth checking out.
Absolutely.
I'm not a 4M guy, but I
No.
do own one, and I had another
I've
one.
worked on one. I've bought one, but I don't own it.
I think if you if you insist on getting a 4M, you got to go check Opie Factory out because their stuff is great
Yes.
for that. I actually got a TRX 4M to perform okay.
How'd you do it?
Opie Factory stuff.
Okay. So
Aftermarket everything.
yeah, just like anything in the crawling world, every problem can be solved with money.
Yeah, the frame rails were stock, modified stock, but they were stock.
Uh-huh.
Everything else was replaced. And I have one. I still have one. I sold that one, but I still have one more. Just because I love the body on it. It's the F-150 High Trail. That's kind of what I grew up kind of loving those.
Yeah, those are great looking trucks. Have you seen his High Trail lowrider? I think is what it's called. He did slammed. Yeah, you have to modify the body, and it's a lot of custom fab work, but it's cool.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
No, not my thing at all. But it's awesome.
Yeah. So, that skid you're talking about, belly up, would work in this.
Yes, absolutely. It's the same setup, and it eliminated the most painful point that I had on that truck. So yeah, it'll suck that right up. I would suggest going ahead and getting the aftermarket links, which I have not done yet, because when I replaced my servo, my rear exit servo wires now contact the chassis rail, so I don't get full compression on the front, which is not a huge deal on that truck. But having some adjustable screw-on link-ins would solve that immediately.
Well, are these not screw-on ends?
They might be.
They're metal. They're metal.
Oh, you just gave me a new project for tonight.
I think you. Well, if you break it, let me know. I'll wait to see how your results turn out.
All right, I'll try to unscrew it, and if I break it, I'll let you know.
This was
just
another
needs a few millimeters more clearance.
This was another for the viewers at home. This was another Crawfest score.
Mm-hmm.
FMS really stepped up.
They did. I love FMS, and I was counting my rigs. I've got 15 rigs total, and I think 6 of them are FMS.
I already have one of these. I have the red and white one. And it's highly modified, brushless, and the whole deal. And it's a great truck, great trail truck. So this one I'm going to try to keep scale because that black and orange and this is painted. It's not black and orange plastic, or it's not orange painted over black plastic. This was a red truck that they painted orange and black, and it's a really nice finish. So I'm going to try to keep this one nice, and this is going to be my scale rig for next year probably.
That's a beautiful truck.
I made a false floor for my accessories.
Oh, awesome.
And there's enough, the magnets are strong enough that it actually sticks to the frame rail underneath the floor of the bed.
That's so cool.
Don't fall out.
Yep.
But it's got a little bit of scale to it. So I'm going to keep working on that. That'll be my scale entry next year.
Can we get a Texas two-step for the micros next year?
I don't even understand that Texas two-step thing.
I don't either. But
I tried to pay attention, and I still didn't get it.
Yeah. Shane, the guy I went with, we were looking at the Texas two-step, and it's basically you drive your Shelf Queen, and you have to complete a course. I don't know what, but then after that, you're able to enter your truck for the show and shine.
Okay.
And I would love to see that for the micros because I want to enter my 30.
See, I was thinking that it involved dancing, so I just tried to get as far away from it as I could. But yeah,
this is my most scale build, and it's the tiniest one.
I think they're going to try to do something with the 30s against my better judgment. I just can't. I got one.
I'll drag you kicking and screaming into the 30s. I'll build.
Hold on,
for you if it comes to it.
I have one. I got this guy.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I've actually got some parts for it that I haven't put on it yet. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I hate working on it. I
get that. I have to be in the right mood to work on them because you're gonna drop shit. You're gonna get frustrated with it, and I'm getting to that age that I've got to have a headlamp to be able to work on them because I don't see like I used to. Oh
yeah, I've got my magnifying glass with a light in it right here. and then I'm using that with these to work on 24s and 18s. So yeah, I don't enjoy working on this thing. My
backpacking headlamp doubles as my RC light.
Your work light.
Right.
They are remarkable feats of engineering. I will admit that. I've got enough weight on the front of this thing, even with what I've done to brass steering and knuckles and that kind of stuff, that it will do some of the lines on my Mount Steadfast course. And I don't know if
you have a Steadfast course.
Yeah.
Why don't you put that on Instagram more often?
Because it's in the other room and the lighting's terrible. I want to get it moved into here. This is kind of a multi-purpose room, and I want to do away with some of the other purposes and get it moved into here where I got better lighting. I want to just put it over there or something. But yeah, right now the lighting's terrible. But what's great about it is, first of all, it's not easy. There's no easy lines on there. And the obvious lines are not easy. And then you start looking and go, yeah, but if I could go up here and turn left, and it is a great way to test your trucks.
I love that.
I don't have a backyard course, and I don't have an indoor course except for that. So when I got into this hobby, I was, a couple of years ago, I was driving across town. I got a place that's about 15 minutes from me, but I'm still driving over there and testing. Well, then I don't want to change stuff out there. So I go over and test it.
Working in the field sucks.
So it takes, 3 weeks to get something the way I think it should be. Whereas it takes a few hours here because I can work on something, run into the other room, test it, that didn't work. This works. I'm heading the right direction. I'm not heading the right direction. My trucks have gotten so much more capable since I bought that from Gabby. I think I've had it 2 years now.
Cool.
Great guy. They're not cheap.
Yeah, Gabby's amazing. No, you get what you pay for.
Yep.
It's a handcrafted work of art is my thought on
Well, and mine came slightly damaged.
it.
And he was like, "Oh my God, I was so worried about that." He sent me the stuff to fix it. It was a little spot about this big. It was on one corner where it had
Mm-hmm.
gotten up against the box, and of course, UPS handles them like UPS handles them. But dude, he was
Yep.
all about getting that thing fixed. He sent me the stuff to fix it, and then he sent me a series of videos that he made for me, step by step, on how to fix it.
That's amazing.
So
That's what
yeah,
I love about this hobby is just everyone I run across is more than willing to help out and share their knowledge. Um, I don't know if you saw 24, not 24 yet, um, Cape Crawler's video with Gabby. And Gabby's just like,
yeah.
yeah, this is how I build them. I'm giving away all my secrets for free. Like, you're not going to get the skill that he has
No,
and the
you
experience
can.
of building them, but you can you can practice like he's done.
I'm more autistic than artistic. I'm going to have to buy it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually thinking about having bodies painted because I'm just not good at it. I have ideas.
Send them my way. I love
But
painting bodies. I picked
I
up
have.
these SCX30 links from John, the stainless 24 at Texas Crawl Fest, and I'm planning on doing a video on these. They're a good 2 to 3 grams, which is, hey, you got the black one.
C1, yeah, I got the C1 chassis. Again,
Excellent.
shout out to him, such a great guy. I got the Crawfest discount on this deal. I think this is going to get, and I just knocked something off my bench. I think this one's going to get this body. I don't even remember who I traded for this thing, but it's an old International, which is I think going to be cool. So I think that's going to get this body, and this is
Very
going to be
cool.
my
What
first.
wheelbase is that?
It's about 155
Okay.
ish, 155
Yeah.
ish.
Yeah.
This is going to be my first attempt at patina.
Right on.
So I'm envisioning like it just got drug up out of a field, out of an old farm field or something.
Yeah. Right.
I don't remember who traded me for this. They traded me for an Injora XJ body. And
All right.
It's been over a year. I don't remember who it was, but he wanted that body. He's like, man, I'm not using it. I'd gotten rid of the 4M that it was on. So he's like, well, I've got these bodies I'll trade you one of these bodies. And this is the one I picked. But it's really, I mean, it's a super clean print. So I think it's going to be easy to get it to look like I want to look, but I'm going to go for that old multi-layered, and then I'm going to sand down and sand it off down through the layers of paint. Cause my dad's old 98 Ram was silver and brown, and silver paint is terrible. Old silver paint anyways.
Hey,
So
Tall Paul, thanks for joining us. SRQ Crawling is in the chat.
what's up, Paul? My favorite tire test guy.
Absolutely.
Never miss a tire test.
Yeah. If you want to watch an extremely detailed 45-minute long paint tutorial on how I did patina, it's out there.
45 minutes.
I
Man,
guess I like
I'm
talking
pretty,
about crawlers. Where is it?
I'm pretty ADHD. I don't know if I can last 45 minutes.
This was my first attempt at a patina, and I'm pretty happy with it.
So
It
I
took
just
me
live
about a month to
vicariously
paint
through.
this.
I live vicariously through you talented guys. I see it and I'm like, that looks cool. I can do that. And then I screw it up and I just live with it.
You can't screw up a patina paint job. That's the
thing.
brilliance of doing a patina paint job is every imperfection was meant to be there.
And that's the part that I have to accept is my mind's eye sees it a certain way and then it doesn't turn out that way. I'm like, I screwed it up. And everybody else like, no, dude, it looks great. Looks great. Like, you're just saying that. You're just trying to make me feel better because I screwed it up.
We're all our harshest critics. Arizona Desert Rider asked if anyone else is jumping on the 150 24 Yep challenge. I haven't done anything, but maybe I should.
I have been thinking about what I could build a chassis out of. What material I could build a chassis out of. And I have absolutely no idea.
I saw a
I like,
styrene chassis the other day that I
yeah,
reshared, and it's a good idea. It's a cool idea. Styrene is so soft. I don't
it
know
is.
that those screw holes are gonna
Well, you're going to have to use
last.
nuts. You're going to have to use nuts. And I'm worried about the chassis flexing.
Right.
But if you look at Boomsling's 24 build, his entire chassis flexed anyway. There was no links. It was very
It's
strange,
true. Yeah.
but it worked.
We'll just take a Party and Guy Dave approach and cut up a metal ruler.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but I mean, hell, I've got enough parts here to probably do the build once I figure out. The only thing is I don't have a 3D printer, so there
I
will
have
be
one
zero 3D
that
print
doesn't
parts.
work.
There will be. I can't even figure out how to get my my. I can't even think of it for your camera that's supposed to follow the truck. I can't figure out how to get that thing to work. I have zero chance of getting a 3D printer to work. So
I've got a new motherboard for my printer, and I just can't bring myself to care about flashing the it's not software, firmware onto the motherboard and hooking up all the wires. Like I've got a guy, John, Grandpa's off-road RC recovery. I've got a sticker somewhere. He's my printer guy.
yeah, Jose Mini Crawling in Houston has printed a few things for me. Hey, Jose, can you print one of these for me? And then he shows up with 10 of them. Apparently printing one little thing is too easy. He's got to do 10. So
That's a good guy to know. And yeah, Tiltadomsky mentioned that you can only use three 3D printed parts anyways. Which
well, I was
Trey
thinking this.
said 2 chassis rails are 2 parts, and I don't know. I feel like a chassis is a chassis. That's 1 part.
Well, I think what he's trying to do.
I get it. I understand why.
I think he's just trying to get away from somebody just 3D designing a crazy custom build truck. Because you can build the chassis, the skid, the servo mount, everything can be built 3D printed. Hell, there's guys out there printing 3D axle housings. So
yeah, right.
I think he's trying to get away from somebody doing that because you could do that for less than
you could 3D print everything but the electronics and the metal.
Right. So I think he's trying to get away from that.
I would love to see another challenge of. Yeah, I would love to see like an only 3D printed parts challenge.
That would be cool.
That would be super cool. It's outside of my ability, and I would just love to see what people can do with it.
I had an idea that nobody seems to like. I want to do an all AliExpress build off.
Yeah, I love that.
You set the budget up front. Everything's got to come off of AliExpress. Where you don't know if it's any good or not until you get it. And if it's no good, you got to figure out how to make it good. I want to do that, but nobody seems to think that's it's like, nah, we're not doing it. So
I have in 2 years, Texas Crawl Fest does an AliExpress comp.
Stock tire challenge.
Okay.
Build the truck however you want, but it has to be, you have to run somebody's RTR wheels and tires.
I'm going to build an SCX 24 with 1.9 Toyo tires on it.
I was thinking Hobby Plus tires. Their tires have come a long way on the RTRs. So
this is my new rig, and those are the 1.9 Toyos. They're huge.
Man, I can't support 10 scale behavior.
I know. I can't afford it, but I keep hearing the siren song of the 10 scales, and I do enjoy going out to the lake with them.
Yeah, I had one and I just never took to it. But honestly, when I had it, I was out there going out there by myself. I think why I took to the minis, I sold it because it sat there for 2 years. Batteries were no good. I sold it. I took to the minis because my buddy Julian is the one that got me into this. He had a couple of minis. I go, this is cool. And I bought a couple, and then I went off the deep end with the building and modifying and the and here we are. Now 26 trucks later. If I had 26 10 scale trucks, I'd also be living in my car. So
right. I was going to say,
for whatever reason at work, they felt like I needed a really big desk. I get this big L-shaped desk at work, and I need about 30% of it to do my job. So the other 70% has got RC crawler obstacle and little mini monster trucks, and so I can carry one of these to work.
Desktop crawl footage, crawling videos from you.
Yeah, the Frame Bender NXT is my desktop testing obstacle, and it's great. It's fun. It'll challenge a truck. It looks like, oh, you just point it and you drive across it. No, you got to drive that truck. So it's been a lot of fun, but I couldn't do that with a 10 scale. I couldn't do that with a 10 scale.
And that's the thing. I've had the Camel Defender since December, and I've run it maybe 3 times before recently, just because I have to get in the car. I have to drive somewhere. I've got a backyard course that's good for 24s, 18s, and 30s. So I can walk out the back door and crawl with the minis, or I've got to drive 20 minutes to go out with the big trucks. And it's it's easier to do the minis.
You live in the flattest place in Oklahoma too.
Yeah. I discovered that after I ordered my first crawler, which was the Power Wagon.
I love that truck.
I love it too. And
what chassis is that?
Stock rails.
Oh, wow.
It's got the Grizzly Works LCG V1.
Okay. That was my first mini crawler. I had my first, I guess technically my first mini was an FCX 24 Smasher V2 or whatever it was. That I turned into a crawler because I like that old Ford body. It's still sitting over there on the shelf. I've kind of been stealing parts off of it. And then my next one was the orange Power Wagon, FCX 24. And I lost my mind. With the background in one-to-one stuff, I do understand a lot of what I know about off-roading, and the one-to-one translates over to the mini stuff, but not everything. But I recognize the need for down low weight, because in my 87 Wrangler or my 2012 Wrangler or my XJs had a lot of weight down low. These don't. So I went a little crazy, and I actually got the stock chassis twisted.
Uh-oh.
I had brass axles, and I had brass everything.
Everything. Yep. Yeah. That'll do it.
But once you get them twisted, you never get them straight again. No. So you try to tweak it, and you go too far, and then you try to tweak it back, and you go too far. Pretty soon you've got chassis rails that are like spaghetti. Yep. So it sat on a shelf over here for a while. I'm like, because I love the truck. I love that. It was the body. Love that truck. So it sat on a shelf till one day I was finally like, all right, you're up. And so I did a ground up build on it, and it's one of my comp rigs now. But the only thing, like I said, I cut the body up. I had to glue the bed and the cab together because I cut so much of the body out to get the weight off up high on the back. It had no bed floor. I built a tonneau cover for it out of styrene to hide it.
Nice. Yeah.
There's not much of it left, but it's a wicked capable truck, and I'll never part with that one. Just because it was my real first good crawler.
Right. I love taking a terrible performing truck and turning it into something that can actually crawl.
Yeah, that was the first one I built ground up. And I had no idea how much better you could make one of these just building it yourself.
Right.
My Bug was a ground up, my Power Wagon's a ground up, and I was like, these things are amazing.
Yeah. With a little bit of know-how, you could make something truly incredible.
Yeah. No, I said I've been going in phases where I'm doing ground up builds, and I tinker with I love ready to runs too. but I'll
I do
tinker. I'll
too.
build
I
ground
go
up.
back and forth between ground up builds and modifying RTRs. I
Yeah,
enjoy both.
there's something to be said for taking a truck out of the box and making it do things that it couldn't do before. That it's just there's just satisfaction in it. And like we said earlier, the manufacturers are up in the game.
Yes,
Red
they
Cat
are.
building, quite a few guys complain about the approach and the departure angle of the Red Cat Scout 2. I have the original. It's now
It's
brushless,
fine.
but
It's
so it doesn't
fine.
have the good steering like yours does. But I will put that truck in some places, right?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
care about the departure angle. I'll just drag that bumper off stuff just like I did my '87 Wrangler. So
Yep.
great performing truck out of box.
If it gets caught, it's coming with you.
Yeah, it's
Hey,
brushless now.
Carolina
I can
RC
kind of see.
guy, he is in on the 24 Yep budget build.
Nice. I'm really interested to see everybody's builds. I don't know. Is Tom still in here? Tilted Tomsky?
I don't know. He might be done trimming his fingernails.
Oh, okay. He found a stick that would make a good chassis. I don't think he
I've
posted that
got
earlier.
my off and on again project for my next SCX 24 is a tilted Zomsky hand cut chassis.
Oh, nice.
I've got dead 90 links that I need to switch to because the Power Wagon links weren't good for this chassis. So a dead 90 should work. And Tom says his fingernails are trimmed. I need to do that to mine.
Tom, I'm going to be disappointed if you don't build a truck out of that stick.
He's German. He can build anything out of anything.
Yeah, he posted that earlier, and it's not a bad layout for a chassis. It's
I
really
need to go
not.
look because I think I might have missed that thing.
I think it's doable.
Yeah. We
Just
are a
build the
little
whole
over an
truck.
hour right now. So we probably should start wrapping this thing up.
Yeah, doesn't sound like a bad idea. Real quick, shameless plug. I was extremely blessed, as we mentioned earlier, at Crawfest. I took first place in stock chassis, and I
Yeah,
took
how'd you do that?
first
You
place.
were judging comps and winning comps.
Well, I didn't run in the class that I judged.
Yep. You
Um,
didn't judge your own run?
nope. I ran.
I guess we'll allow it.
I ran C1, which was the stock chassis class,
Yep.
and
You
then I
did excellent
ran.
at that. I saw your run for that. That was very good.
I ran C2 light, and then I judged C2 heavy. So that way,
Uh-huh.
from what I understand, there's still some grumblings out there that I have somehow gone from helping to I set the whole thing up and then I won everything. Yeah, I don't know, but that's okay. Whatever.
There's
But
always going to be sore losers out there.
I was very blessed. FMS really stepped up, and both the classes that I won, and I got an RTR. I'm keeping the K10. It's just too cool.
Yeah,
But
you should.
at our next comp, the 23rd, if you guys are in the
Mhm.
Houston area, everybody that signs up is really hard to get this whole thing in camera.
Which one is that?
It's the Range Rover.
Oh, I was going to say, if it's the D110, I need a mini to go with my 10 scale.
I have the D110. That's the one I have
Uh-huh.
that I'm keeping, but I haven't even taken this out of the box. Kind of a give it back deal. Everybody that signs up for the comp in Houston on the 23rd, their name goes in a hat and somebody's going to win this truck.
I love it. That's awesome.
So
I also made out at Texas Crawl Fest and won these custom Topo Line 1.9 wheels, which may or may not have led to this $400 rig.
and
I will deny that in court. But
That
those wheels aren't
bronze-
going on this truck.
that bronze would look good, but I don't know about that blue.
I think it'll work.
I think you need to trade those off for some green rings.
We'll see. I'm gonna mount them up like they are, and then we'll see. The guy next to us when I won these was super jealous. He said he had the perfect rig for these, and I very nearly gave them to him.
But
I'm
then you
kind of glad I
decided to buy.
didn't.
Then you decided to buy a $500 truck.
A little bit.
That's how it starts. I'm building a chassis for I want a mofo motor. Again, great sponsors. I got a bag full of stuff, man, for both classes.
I love Mofo.
So now I
Any
got
of
to
my
build another
ground up
truck.
builds, I use Mofo motors.
There's been some, the ESCs have been iffy lately. I know, but I think they've stepped up with that Reaper ESC. I think it's going to be I think it is an Escape 32. So it's probably gonna be really
I
good.
will only use Escape 32 ESCs now that I've discovered them. So yes.
But the thing with Mofo is I emailed them. I was having a problem. I couldn't figure it out. Well, when I was building the other K10, when I was swapping it over to brushless, I emailed them and Nick called me. He didn't email me back. He called me back and walked me through, try this, try that, do this. I'm going to send
Nick
you
is a great guy.
and keep my number. Let me know how it goes. So I've still got his number stored in my phone. I haven't needed to call him on anything, but again, like you said, the people standing behind their stuff in this hobby. That's just one example.
Absolutely.
You email Injora, you will get a response in 3 days, and nothing against Injora's customer service, but you are talking to a customer service person whose English is not their first language, and they know nothing about RCs. They just work for a large company, and that's their job.
Right.
Whereas, the owner, 828 RC, Tyler, I drove a truck off the counter in the kitchen and decimated a rear lower link. And I messaged him, go, bro, I broke it. I need to, what's it going to cost me to get one lower rear link? He goes, nothing. Lifetime warranty. I'm like, no, you don't understand, dude. I drove it off the kitchen counter. I broke it. It didn't fail. It wasn't a build problem or a material problem. I drove it off the kitchen counter, landed on the right rear wheel. He's like, doesn't matter. Lifetime warranty. So you don't get that from an Injora. I like Injora stuff. I like Mia stuff. I like the big company stuff, Fury Tech. I like that stuff, but you don't get that from those big companies. You get that from Mofo and 828 and Dinky and so.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. I could not agree more that the guys that are in this hobby for the hobby are the reason I stay in the hobby. I've done the same thing. One of my first upgrades for the Power Wagon was a Mofo brushed motor, and I accidentally ordered a Mod 5 pinion gear, and I emailed them like, hey, I screwed up. I ordered the wrong thing. I need a Mod 3, and they just sent it out without charging me.
Yeah, you're not going to get that from those big companies.
No.
You're just not.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of Mofo for life. I've used their products. I burnt out the motor in my little red Jeep. And while I was waiting on my now brushless setup, I threw in a Neo Beast 30, and it was a great motor.
Yeah, I want to go up to one of their events at Mofo one of these.
I would love to.
Well, it's about the same drive as it was for Crawfest.
Yeah. If it's less than 10 hours, I'll jump in the car and drive all day. I don't care.
You're much younger than I am. Oh, what's that?
Arizona Desert Razor says, I'm really about the build process. My hands need something to do that keeps me from doing bad things. I agree.
Idle hands. I get it.
Yep.
It's a relaxing thing to me. I just, I have to focus on the 24s and 18s are small enough that I have to focus on what I'm doing. And that gives me the ability. I work in a very high stress environment sometimes. It's a job, not complaining, but man, I come home sometimes and I need to decompress, and that's how I do it. I can get in there and it's so easy to tune everything else out.
Yes.
when you have to focus on what you're doing. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
therapy. It's not just crawler therapy; it's build therapy.
Yeah, crawler therapy comes from driving, from tinkering, from just you can't stress about other stupid shit that's going on in your life when you're trying to get that stupid screw through that link to bite. I
And it
absolutely it just clears your mind of all the stuff you don't need to be thinking about.
it is kind of an expensive habit, but it's not expensive as a drug or alcohol habit.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Well, with
you'll
that,
never find me in a bar.
that's right. It keeps you out of the bars. At that, we're about at an hour 15. So I think we're going to call it a night. I appreciate everyone joining us. Joe, thank you for stepping up and being a guest on the show while Judd is out having dinner.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I didn't expect to be the co-host, but it is what it is. I kind of had fun with it. So if you ever want to bring me back on, I can talk about RC
Absolutely.
all day.
Yes, that's what we're looking for. We would love to start having guests regularly. So, yes, absolutely. We will make sure this happens again. For everybody that is not a follower on Instagram, follow Joe Gun RC, follow me, RC Crawling, follow at Dad's Micro RC Garage. Uh, Dad and I are doing an SCX30 giveaway. I did some custom paint on a K10 and a JLU, and Dad put the performance parts that they need. And we're going to be doing a giveaway of those two trucks. The winner will get to choose either the JLU or the K10.
Is that the yellow and white one?
That's the yellow and white one with topo lines, and the red JLU with topo lines.
Yeah, that yellow one, that yellow and white one's cool. It's like old school with new school flair. It's cool.
I fell in love with that truck while I was working on it. I did a door handle delete, and I was putting it back together. Wasn't quite sure what it should look like, but went ahead and put on the stacks and the cage in the back, and that just made the build.
Yeah, it's a cool truck.
Yeah,
And then
I'll share that truck to my stories. So go check out my stories. Send me that.
I
If
need
you
to
want me
send
to
that
work
to
on
you.
that, I'll send it to me, and I'll do the work on it for you and send it back.
I didn't even sand the body, dude. I just painted it and stuck some stickers on it.
I never sand the bodies. Who cares?
This is a 4 low RC. It's a nice body, but I just too small, man. Too small. But I
This
might
is
do that. I might
my
send it to you.
3D printed XJ, and I did no sanding other than I primered it and sanded it a couple times, and it's fine. From it's All of my paint jobs are 3 foot paint jobs because we're not that close to them when we're driving them on the rocks.
You're not wrong.
And I don't build shelf queens, so they don't need to be perfect.
You're not wrong. Every one of my trucks has scratches, got scratches on it. So
Trail trophies, that's what they are.
yes, sir. Badges of honor.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks, Joe, for being a guest on the show. We will catch y'all again soon. And make sure to follow us on Instagram because we will keep sharing what we're working on in the meantime. And yeah, Arizona Desert Rider, sand and tumbling, gravity does all that polishing for us. That's absolutely right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. And we will see you in the next show.
See you
Happy
guys. Thanks for having
crawling.
me, Michael.